Welcome back. Welcome to the Takeout Tavern. This is our last week for Bicentennial Minutes, and we're not going to have a show Friday, so just 4 days left of these archived gems honoring American history as part of the prelude to our 200th anniversary, our bicentennial. As I've mentioned, CBS produced 912 bicentennial minutes over roughly 2.5 years. One aired each night in the 8 o'clock hour. Those who appeared in the bicentennial minutes came from Hollywood, Broadway, politics, the military, and academia. I have not watched all of the bicentennial minutes, but I have seen dozens upon dozens. They skewed, and this is not surprising for the times, white and male. Tonight, however, two prominent women of the American arts. The first, Edith Head, the world-famous costume designer. How famous was she? Well, she was nominated for 35 Oscars, and she won 8. She designed costumes for Ginger Rogers, Bette Davis, Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, and Elizabeth Taylor. She spent 44 years at Paramount, a company I've recently grown familiar with. And for those of you who love the animated movie The Incredibles, you might reasonably assume the character Edna Mode was inspired by Edith Head. I mean, they do look a lot alike. The creator of The Incredibles, however, says that's just a coincidence, and there were many inspirations for Edna Mode. Look closely. You can decide for yourself. In the meantime, Edith Head's Bicentennial Minute.
I'm Edith Head. 200 years ago today, General Israel Putnam's wife and daughters were spinning flax for linen hunting shirts for the American Army. Before the Revolution, linen cloth was imported. Now everything had to be made domestically. Most of the new recruits in New York were to get new hunting shirts. They were supposed to strike terror in the enemy, who thought that every Yankee dressed this way was a super marksman. The women spun, but the war spun forward faster. Many men would go to the Battle of Long Island without their new shirts, unable to scare an enemy who was better equipped, better uniformed, and waiting. I'm Edith Head, and that's the way it was.
Judith Crist is next. Not a household name now, but Judith Crist was in the mid-1970s. She was among the very first full-time female movie critics to work for a significant daily newspaper. She also appeared regularly on The Today Show, which is on some other TV network. She also wrote for TV Guide, among the best-selling magazines in all of America in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Judith Crist's Bicentennial Minute.
I'm Judith Crist. 200 years ago today, angry patriot workmen pushed their way into Samuel Loudon's New York print shop. Loudon, who was a patriot, had published 1,500 copies of a loyalist pamphlet, believing he had a right to print anything without interference. The mob's leaders admitted that they hadn't bothered to read what they'd come to seize. When Loudon offered them copies, they knocked him aside, took the pamphlets to feed into a bonfire. Loudon complained bitterly. To him, the incident was, quote, a violent infraction of the liberty of the press, unquote. Later that year, New York's Patriot Committee voted to pay Loudon £200 to publish their official announcements. They wanted to make up for what an angry mob had done. I'm Judith Crist, and that's the way it was.
These historic minutes are sponsored each night by Shell.
The Shell sponsorship zinger. Stinger.